Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today we're going to be mastering the Groza-1 Carbine. This is one of the newer weapons added to Battlefield 4. We're going to be getting 500 kills with it, talking about the weapon, and perhaps even discussing some of the fatal flaws with the Carbine weapon design right now, which are exacerbated by the Groza-1 because it has such poor aiming down sight accuracy, which is really just going to affect your gameplay overall, regardless of what you're doing. Now that being said, the Groza-1 does have the most benefits when it comes to hipfire accuracy. It's got decent hipfire accuracy. I wouldn't say it's amazing. You may as well be using a PDW if you want the best hipfire accuracy out there, but it can work if you want to shoot from the hip. The only problem is that Battlefield 4 isn't a game that revolves around somebody who can just play the whole thing through shooting from the hip. There just aren't enough maps with enough close quarter combat to allow you to just hipfire all day long. You're going to need some sort of decent aiming down sight accuracy with just about any weapon to be moderately effective, and unfortunately you just don't get that with this gun. I'm going to switch over to some test range footage here in a second, and I've set the gun into semi-automatic fire mode, and I'm firing directly at some of the target dummies at far away, and you'll see that I'm missing a substantial amount of the shots here. They just simply go off target. And when we pop up the Sympathic Stats here, you can see that the gun only has a 0.35 aiming down sight accuracy, which is pretty common in carbines, and you can replicate this kind of accuracy test with most carbines out there. It's just kind of disappointing considering that the targets I'm shooting at really aren't that far away. At about 93 meters away, I was missing approximately 8 out of 30 shots when firing center mass on the target dummies, and it was even missing a bunch of targets at around 50 meters. Now, considering I was firing in semi-auto mode and taking considerable time between each shot, that is plenty of time for it to reset the accuracy of each shot that I'm taking. So the fact that I'm missing that many shots when I'm firing in semi-auto mode is really disconcerting, considering that your first shot should be relatively accurate no matter what weapon you're using. And quite frankly, if the devs want to affect a weapon's effectiveness at range, you shouldn't mess with its base accuracy so much as the recoil and just the damage drop off. Those are fine ways to affect a weapon's effectiveness at range, but when you have a weapon with a carbine length barrel, there's no reason to make it miss that many shots at under 100 meters away. Kind of ridiculous, and it was really annoying when I would sneak up behind a target and take a shot and completely miss, or try and burst fire targets from long range and just watch all of my shots miss, knowing that my accuracy was spot on. Now, this poor accuracy from carbines is just nothing new in Battlefield. It's been around forever. It's always kind of sucked, but when you combine that with the just awful stats of the Groza-1, it creates a weapon that is just shitty just all around. Which is funny to think about, because in CTE this weapon actually had the potential to be one of the highest damaging guns in the game. At least it would have that going for it, even if it did have shitty accuracy, but unfortunately that got taken away from it, and now it's just generally a crappy gun. The one thing that I guess you could say it has going for it is that it does 30 damage maximum, which is kind of an obscure number because 30 damage doesn't kill somebody in 3 shots. It only does 90 damage in 3 shots. So you still got to get a 4-shot kill to kill somebody with this carbine, which doesn't really do much for you. Now let's pop up the Sympathic Stats here and see if this gun actually does have anything going for it. Well, if you look at the rate of fire, 725 rounds per minute isn't incredibly fast, but if you combine that with 30 damage maximum, the DPS isn't terribly bad. It's not too bad at all, except you've got an incredibly slow muzzle velocity to begin with of 400 meters per second, and you cannot modify the barrel or undergrip on this weapon. You're just set with its performance right now. This is the gun that everybody's going to be using. You can modify the optic on here, and you can choose what kind of accessory it has, like if you wanted to have the auto target detector or a laser sight on there. That's what you can decide, but other than that, you can't really modify its performance, which really sucks, especially considering its recoil is some of the highest in the entire carbine category. 0.4 pull left, 0.4 pull right, and a 0.57 vertical recoil. This thing isn't necessarily the most accurate weapon once you start going full auto, which is what you need to do to kill anyone, because we've already established that its semi-automatic and burst fire accuracy is pretty garbage, so you just gotta spray and pray. I mean, you don't really have any other option with this weapon. Now, according to the stats, it looks like they're really trying to make you use this weapon as a hipfire gun, because it has the hipfire accuracy as one of its better stats out there, and the one attachment that you can put on here is the laser sight, so you can improve its hipfire accuracy even more. It just isn't that great overall as a hipfire weapon. Its DPS isn't amazing. There's better carbines out there, especially if you're playing the engineer class. You can just use a PDW, which will be infinitely better for hipfire gameplay. So there really isn't a huge reason to use this weapon, as for the most part I see the classes using carbines out there as the recon class and the engineer class. Assault doesn't need them because they have assault rifles, and support doesn't need them because machine guns are freaking awesome, and why would you want to use a carbine when you have something like an MG4? Now some of you guys out there might be saying, go easy on the gun level, there's like 80 plus something primary weapons in Battlefield 4, which is totally insane. It's like more guns than I've seen in any other game ever. It's crazy, the arsenal you have available, so of course there's going to be some guns that are out of balance, out of whack. I guess my problem is that after playing with the weapon, I can just see some basic areas to improve the gun, and if you've done all this work modeling out the weapon, doing the sound effects, the firing effects, the reload animations, all the cool things to make the gun functional in game, why not just balance the stats in a way so that it's something that people actually want to use? It's not something that has to be overpowered, but right now it's just a really bad weapon. I can think of basically any other carbine in the game that I would rather use than the Groza-1. Now unfortunately the gameplay where I got the 500th kill with this weapon got corrupted, so I can't post the unlock video of this, but I did get the 500 kills with the gun, so I got the mastery, which means I don't have to use this carbine again unless they choose to update it or change the stats on it, in which case it will actually be usable, maybe worthwhile using. Hopefully they'll fix the reload time or something, or make the recoil less, make the aim down sight more accurate. There's a lot of things they could do to this weapon to make it better. It's unfortunately just gotten a lot of really negative attributes to the point where it's something I don't want to use. I ended up having to play the support class a lot with this gun because I would shoot so many of my bullets at range trying to hit somebody and get a kill that I would just run out of ammo before I had like 2 kills with the gun. So I'd have to pop down an ammo box just so I could keep firing and keep fighting. Now we are going to see some weapon updates in the spring patch, and who knows, maybe the Groza-1 will be one of those weapons and we can revisit it and maybe it'll be an awesome little carbine. There are some fun carbines to use. I think the ACWR is still one of the best out there, and I have a blast equipping that thing and just tearing people up. We're getting very close to having mastered all of the primary weapons in Battlefield 4. There's only a few left and the list is in the video description. So if you guys want to help me decide on which weapon to master next, let me know in the comments. As always guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap signing off.